the big elephant, which is the valuations. Even if Section 296 wasn't a thing, we would probably be spending a lot of time on that anyway. It has really been, valuations have really been the problem area for us audits. It's created the most headaches for you accountants, and we apologise for that. But look, that just is what it is. Now. Let's see. Now, before I actually get into a discussion on the valuations, I think it's just worth just having a bit of a pit stop on the regulatory environment that we're operating in, and that's the ATO's approach to compliance, because that's really driving how we as auditors approach the valuation aspect of any of these investments. As I've said in previous years, and apologies for sort of banging on the drum again, but they have very high expectations. They're very strict, and look, most accountants aren't fully aware of this, or they don't fully sort of grasp just how serious they are, because I guess the ferocity of the ATO when they're looking at auditors, it happens in auditor world. When you sort of read these articles about auditors going to be referred to ASIC or having their licenses removed, it doesn't really affect accountants, and it tends not to be front of mind. And look, it's perfectly fine. Until now, and I've thought about this, and I think as everyone sort of realises, Section 296 is going to, the ATO are going to be fully aware that there could be, shenanigans with valuations, and that, they're going to be very much focused on this, and they will, when they have concerns about, valuations in self-managed super funds over the next, years, 2 years, they won't be coming to the auditors in the first instance. I would imagine they'll be coming to you guys. They'll be coming to the accountants and to the trustees and saying, hey, justify these valuations. So just, I guess the sort of the key takeaway is that, in the past, this sort of, quite strict approach that we auditors have taken to valuation information and making sure you've ticked all the boxes. That was very much a case of sort of us protecting our backsides. Well, now we're doing it for you and your trustees as well. It's so yeah, just be very mindful of just how tough they can be. And I guess this sort of this tough approach has been there for the last probably 10 years, and certainly the last 5 years it's really ramped up. And I guess you need to sort of think, when I was mulling on the contents of this webinar, I thought, well, how is this going to pan out when Section 296 comes in? And I think it's worth just thinking about, well, just how important Section 296 is to, not just the ATO, but really to the government. This Labor government, this measure is very important to funding whatever sort of stuff they want to do. And in fact, I think it's probably one of the main revenue measures they've got. So they have a lot weighing on this. They want to get this right. And even though the boffins at Treasury and Prime Minister's office, they're not great when it comes to the technicalities of the Tax Act, they would absolutely know that the introduction of Section 296, it lends itself to valuation shenanigans when it comes in, sort of playing around with them at 30 June 25. And you could, and there'll be a lot of money at stake with that. And so you can imagine them speaking to their counterparts in the ATO, and I mean, this is all speculation, but I think it seems very reasonable to me. But they would be speaking to them, maybe sort of the lower level sort of senior executives, but I wouldn't be surprised if deputy commissioner type stuff, and saying, hey, you guys need to make sure that these shenanigans don't happen. And that will feed down to the poor guys in the SMSF, the ATO SMSF division. They probably have never had this sort of pressure before. I feel a bit sorry for them. And so they are going to take that and they're going to push it back on accountants and auditors. So look, yeah, I guess that was one of the key things. Just keep it in mind that these, when I'm talking about all these valuation rules and requirements, that this world that we're going to be operating in, the scrutiny is going to be quite serious, you really need to line up your ducks and have the right sort of documentation. and make sure these valuations that you come up with for your clients meet these high expectations that the ATO put down.